Black Ops 6 is a game that has me excited for, of course, a new Call of Duty experience, but it's also a game that has me terrified for the future of COD as a whole. So today, while so many of us are excited for the launch of Black Ops 6, I think we should keep a clear head going into this game and remember that there are some glaring red flags across all three main modes plus the COD hub. And by the way, this is not going to be a video of spreading hatred. That's not what I do on this channel. This video is just a vibe check. Are we overhyping ourselves? Is the music aroma of this game so good that we're just ignoring the poor design decisions right under our very noses? I'd love to know your answers to these questions after thoroughly going through all of the red flags I've gathered here for you today. So like, subscribe, all of that jazz, and let's jump right in. So number one red flag, no early access to the Call of Duty Black Ops 6 campaign. You may have heard the news, but if not, this year round, we no longer have the ability to play a standard 1 week in advance early access campaign. What does this mean for us? Why was this feature suddenly dropped? Well, firstly, the early access campaign was a double-edged sword to begin with. On one hand, having early access to only play the campaign allows players to jump into the single-player experience without the pressure of falling behind in other modes like multiplayer. When you're forced to pick and choose between other modes like multiplayer zombies and the campaign all at once, most competitive players, which are the majority of COD players, are going to gravitate towards the mode that allows friends to party up and learn the new COD while every other player is also trying to play and learn the new COD together. You don't want to be the Christmas noob getting on after everyone else has already learned all the maps and the metas, right? So the early access campaign is great for someone like that, a competitive player that still wants to appreciate the story craft. But on the other hand, the early access campaign is of course a campaign. It's a story and you don't want that story spoiled. By putting the campaign out as a pre-order bonus, Activision is effectively acquiring more pre-orders under the pretense of, but it's just a lovely bonus for our fellow loyal Call of Duty players. When in reality, if someone like you wants to see if the game is actually good or not at launch, you have a high chance of being spoiled a week in advance due to this early access campaign. You're kind of forced to gamble that $70 away in the hopes of not being spoiled, because the campaign is going to be the only thing discussed on social media leading up to launch. So yeah, like, good luck finding people's slots of Black Ops 6 without getting spoiled. So yeah, the early access campaign was a double-edged sword to begin with. However, the caveat to the gambling your money away outcome is that if you didn't like the early access campaign as you played it early, you'd be able to refund your game as it hasn't officially launched yet. This happened last year with MW3's campaign for a lot of users. That campaign was a rotten egg on top of beloved fan favorite characters of Modern Warfare's past. In other words, it was short as hell, it was goofed on at the Game Awards for that specifically.
All right, I get it. I'm not gonna stand up here making long speeches. I'm gonna stick to the script. No 8-minute speech like last year. But fun fact, my speech was actually longer than this year's Call of Duty campaign. What? Another company I'll never work for.
It disrespected fan favorite characters like Soap. It brought back villains from the dead without proper narrative payoffs. Graves. It rebooted a fan favorite villain, Makarov, but didn't even try to capture his cold-hearted lust for carnage energy. Plot holes were everywhere, and so much more that I will cover in my full MW3 review, but for now, let's just say the campaign ruined the Modern Warfare franchise to the point this game undersold by 30%. There was apparently 30% less sales than Modern Warfare 2. So this year around with Black Ops 6's early access campaign, it looks like they didn't want the same heat. But if they didn't want the same heat, why would they choose to remove the early access campaign feature? Why wouldn't they look at the reasons people disliked MW3's campaign to make sure that they deliver a better product the next time around? The way Activision has gone about this to make sure we can't even play the Black Ops 6 campaign early makes me think this campaign is another doozy. So far, we know that the plot is about the United States turning on the Black Ops team, or at least some faction within the US with more power has put a bounty on Adler and company. For some reason, this just makes me think of the MW2 2022 campaign where they already tried this plotline with Shadow Company and Shepard turning on Task Force 141. Looks like we're maybe rehashing the same plot lines yet again. Like, why? I mean, if we look at recent history repeating itself, last year with MW3, they tried to rehash the MW2 missiles and the Modern Warfare 2019 gas to create, you guessed it,
chemicals. This missile has them too.
Laswell, we have 2 gas-covered missiles coming your way.
All of this Black Ops 6 campaign information just irks me the wrong way. Is Activision actually just scared of Black Ops 6's campaign? Like, why can't we play it early? Anyways, let's head on over to the mode that people grind the most of all year long. Multiplayer. In no particular order, let's start with the Deceptive map inflation. What on God's green earth are you referring to, Mattsuki? Well, do you guys recall how much pride Treyarch had over launching yet another COD with 16 multiplayer maps? And how quickly they were to mention that 4 of those 16 are just 2v2 maps that they're throwing into 6v6, leaving just 12 6v6 maps at launch? Well, to be completely honest, that's still pretty good. I think 12 6v6 size maps at launch is a great standard to take pride in, but unfortunately, the deception just doesn't end there. Not only did they try to deceptively inflate the amount of multiplayer maps by including 2v2 maps with our classic COD 6v6 maps for their multiplayer total, not only that, but we are entering red flag number 3 with a little special video from Ya Boy Exclusive Ace going over the Black Ops 6 maps and their accurate sizes compared to the classic maps like Nuketown and Raid. This is the juicy shit that I am referring to right here. The maps meant for 6v6 only in BO6 are not 6v6 sized. And when I say sized, this will be taking into account how fast players are running around the maps in comparison to the literal size in meters of the maps. Surprisingly, the size of a map can feel a lot smaller when the movement is at supersonic speeds. Let's keep that in mind. So with that said, I have a little thought experiment for you guys. Is Skyline a larger map than Nuketown? And to narrow this down a little bit more, let's remove the underground section of Skyline, so no vents or overhead hallways included. Let's just focus on the length and the width of Skyline and Nuketown from a bird's eye view. In my opinion, Skyline seems to be just a hair larger, right? I mean, the width isn't as narrow as Nuketown, but the length is relatively the same size, right? Well, actually, no. So when we use Exclusive Ace's findings and compare that to our own map knowledge, Mattsuki brain activated, this is Skyline, and this is how many Nuketowns can fit into Skyline. Not only both houses, both yards, and the street, but also an additional family-sized house, yard, and half the main street, plus a little bit more can also fit into Skyline. Skyline is not 2 times larger than Nuketown, but it is 64% larger. Again, this isn't even taking into account the underground vent route, nor the overhead hallway beside the pool. We're just looking at this from a bird's eye view, aka surface area. So Skyline is even larger yet. And again, this is only in meters. The movement speed of Black Ops 6 is so much faster than the limited sprint on OG Nuketown and Raid. That's probably why we would think that Nuketown is almost the same size as Skyline, right? It sure doesn't feel like 1.5 Nuketowns. Pacing wise, it feels almost the exact same as Nuketown, which leads us into red flag numero 4. The spawns feel like Nuketown and shipment spawns. I've experienced spawn traps on Skyline and they felt very similar to Nuketown spawn traps, but there's also spawn traps on Deerlicht and Babylon, which isn't even including the face-off 2v2 maps in BO6. Those things in the face-off mode are a lost cause. I mean, if you watched my last video reviewing the beta, you'd see me shooting enemies as they spawn in on Gala. Me personally, I don't want to play a game that encourages players to exploit the spawns to have fun. The reason spawn traps are so awful for the COD community's ecosystem is because they can and will become normalized in the heart of core 6v6 going forward. Players over the past 5 to 6 years, if not since COD World War II, which was 2017, so maybe like 7-ish years now, we've had shipment and Nuketown every single year since then, and in every COD game it was in a 24/7 mosh pit. We've normalized these mosh pits to the point that they have their own large vocal player base that's only into COD for that mindless Speedy Gonzalez spawn trap exploit grind. And yeah, that might have seemed like a bit of a word salad to you, but it's true. Normalizing exploits, normalizing extremely low effort grinds to achieve the best rewards in the game, normalizing TikTok levels of speed with all combat engagements has cultivated such a slimy, grotesque gremlin of a basement dweller fan base. I am sorry, like, I've been there. I've been in the basement, but you guys are 3.5 floors deeper than I currently am. It's gross. Stop it. I know you won't, so may I pray to the COD gods that they remove your addictions for you. There's just no other way to put it at this point. You guys have gone far beyond reason, so I ask Infinity Ward, if you ever see this message, I ask of you guys to do one more thing that the weird section of the COD community continuously blames you of doing. Stop listening to them. Stop listening to the community that's destroying Call of Duty. Stop listening to them like you have in the past with dead silence as a perk and the red dots on the minimap. You guys have to have some confidence in your own design decisions and listen to those that you made your game for. Instead of designing a classic Modern Warfare military game for complete literal clowns and furries that already do not like your games to begin with, you create a game for no one when it is made for everyone. It starts off as bad for the clowns and good for the fans, to mid for the clowns and mid for the people that were once your fans. So please, can we stop pre-ordering COD and tell them our reason for doing so is because of the shipmentification of COD? We can't have yet another year of shipment spawns, except they're now in the core 6v6 mode. We just gotta put our foot down this year and say no. Apparently the people canceling their pre-orders last year resulted in the MW3 game selling 30% less than Modern Warfare 2. 30% is a huge number. The only way that stuff is gonna change is if we as a community stand up together and ask for change. I don't personally want to go a whole decade with shipment existing as what makes Call of Duty Call of Duty. That's just not what COD is. Yeah, shipment existed in COD 4 Modern Warfare, but it was designed as a fucking gimmick map. It was used for testing and accidentally made it into the full game. Shipment didn't even exist in Modern Warfare 2, nor the OG Modern Warfare 3. Heck, like, Terminal was the Modern Warfare map, and it's just gotten thrown to the side. What happened? I feel like COD's is just in a really bad state right now. And yeah, I guess I'll end that little tangent there and get into red flag number 5. SMGs were overperforming. This is most likely due to the small maps. This year, Treyarch, for some reason, did not want to include a single large map for the game at launch. This is, to me, a little bit of proof that they are leaning into the shipmentification of COD, and is also further evidence that Black Ops 7 is coming out next year. If they could not make 16 6v6 maps for launch that are all 6v6 sized in the past 4 years of dev time, why do you think that they only released 12 6v6 maps at launch, with some of those maps being nearly 2v2 sized as well? Babylon, Payback, Subsonic, they're all around the shipment to Stash House or even meat-sized maps. MW3 this year was already nurturing players into liking Stash House and Meat. They're pretty much shipment equivalent maps. They're tiny as hell, awful spawns, and action around every corner. So instead of 12 6v6 sized maps for launch, in reality, we have more like 9 6v6 sized maps. And that's if and only if you count Nuketown sized maps as 6v6 sized. Payback, Babylon, and Subsonic are really just 3v3 sized maps in my opinion. Maybe not 2v2, but for sure 3v3. So when we look at the rest of the maps, we have maps ranging from Nuketown sized, maybe up to Raid, the classic Raid from BO2 sized maps. And now, don't get me wrong, Raid is a great map, but Raid was also considered a small map back in the day. Nowadays, COD devs have shifted their goals goalpost into making Shipment a small map and Raid a medium map. Why is Raid now medium? I can't be the only one that remembers maps like Raid and Dome being called small maps back in the day, right? BO2's map description of Raid says fight through this hillside mansion of Hollywood Hills, hectic close quarters combat. Okay, maybe like this isn't specifically saying small map, but it's about the same size as OG MW3's Dome, or if not a little bit smaller. And Dome says small outpost in the desert. Fast and frantic action. And we all know Dome was indeed the smallest map on disk for OG MW3. So my point still stands. Why the hell is there a goalpost shift? It's obvious. The reason SMGs probably overperformed is because back in the day, Dome and Raid were great SMG maps. They were small and had hectic close quarters combat. When you make a game like Black Ops 6 and the only maps are smaller than Raid, half of them being meat-sized and smaller maps, of course the SMGs are gonna overperform. Treyarch, you guys, for the majority of your maps, you released SMG maps. I'm sorry again for the rant, but moving on to red flag number 6. There has been a leak floating around that BO6 has stolen MW3 live service maps because Treyarch didn't make as much maps for BO6 as Sledgehammer Games made for MW3. This is also concerning, and you guys can say it with me now. If this leak is true, this is further evidence that BO7 is coming out next year. So yeah, this is a red flag because we might have another MW2 going into MW3 situation. Content might be very dry for BO6, but hey, buy BO7 next year and get a bunch of fixes and more maps than BO6 offered. Yeah, that's what they did for MW2. And you can't say otherwise because that's just ignoring the evidence right in front of your face. MW2 has 3 years of dev time, yet it has so much fewer maps than MW3 that only had 16 months of dev time. I've gone over this in previous recent videos, so watch those if you want to know more. But yes, this type of product strategy feels manipulative. I feel like I'm buying the live service of games instead of the full package of a game at this point. I was actually watching a video on Asmongold's TV YouTube channel, and one of those videos was discussing all the different things that consumers pay for in the modern era of video games, such as Wi-Fi, PlayStation Network or Xbox Live, the full-priced games themselves, microtransactions within those games, pre-order bonuses, and maybe one day we will pay for updates too. Well, friends, I think COD has already struck gold. They have effectively done this for the last year with MW2 and 3. Let's see if they do it again. I've been saying this for like 5 months at this point. There was a lot of evidence, but hey, maybe I did call it early. Let's see. Want more proof? Well, here you go. MW3 obviously didn't take 3 years of paying developers to make the game, so maybe that 30% less sales for MW3 was negligible. Think about it. 1/3 of dev time to make 2/3 of the profit of a usual game. Sounds like a net positive to me. Personally, I don't want to buy games knowing that they'll have content held back for a future full-priced DLC in disguise as a totally new game. MW3, BO7. Anyway, red flag number 7. The identity of BO6 is tarnished already. The Treyarch devs lied to the fans that got flown out to Treyarch Studios. Chopper, another YouTuber on this platform, was fed false information around the art style of BO6. He was told that they wanted to keep this game Black Ops themed, and that this was going to come at the expense of the players that like the wacky, silly cosmetics. However, after the pre-order bonuses went live, we can now see Brutus and Klaus, plus also Adler and whoever the other character is from the Black Ops campaigns. They are dressed up in silly, unrealistic gear that you will never see in a Black Ops campaign, let alone a grounded multiplayer. The weapons as well are shooting electric magic. They're weapon variants meant for zombies, but hey, they were in the BO6 multiplayer beta too. So that's another reason I am not getting this game at launch, nor am I pre-ordering it. Now, moving on to zombies. Red flag number 8 is the HUD. You can't tell me after 4 years of dev time that they just forgot about making a zombies HUD. The Warzone-ification of zombies. Yes, we have the shipmentification and now we have the Warzone-ification, okay? Just so you guys can keep track. So the Warzone-ification of zombies and recycled assets between modes is getting out of hand. Fortunately, Treyarch have addressed that they are fixing up the HUD for launch, so hey, maybe this isn't as big of a red flag as I thought, but I find it extremely hard to believe that they forgot to make a real zombies HUD for get this, zombies. So this still belongs in the red flags category for me, as it seems like deception to get our goodwill out of standard features that don't take a long time to implement. A little Mattsuki update for you. Treyarch actually did post what their HUD looks like now. Yeah, they added a red square with your operator in it. That's all they did. So yeah, this still belongs in the red flag category. They did not do enough. This effort is pitiful. I am sorry. A lot of YouTubers are saying, oh yeah, it's a step in the right direction, guys. But like, bruh, I can take a screenshot of a character and make a red square in like 2 minutes. When we asked for a zombies themed HUD, we were asking for an actual theme for the HUD that looks like it's for zombies, not, oh yeah, we just need the little player card in the bottom left to see who you're playing as, like that's the mechanical reason. Like no, art is important. Let's not throw it away. The art is what gives us the zombies vibe. That's the reason my red flag number 9 is the aura or the map aesthetic of Liberty Falls. There was a lot of people complaining about it, and getting into that point, this map was set in the daytime and looked nothing like a zombies map to me, nor other zombies players. It looked again like a lazy recycling of Warzone POIs into zombies. And this was just bizarre. There was pushback from zombies fans that didn't want to see COD improve. But fortunately, Mr. Raffle Waffles and the critical zombies COD YouTubers and community, their opinions shine through, and Treyarch are reworking Liberty Falls' aura. I'm really happy. Everyone else is now happy too, so I can't wait to get my hands on zombies sometime this year and see what it looks like. Also, Mattsuki edit here. We can now see what it looks like, and yeah, they just kind of darken the skybox, and the map is a little bit desaturated. Yeah, I don't really want to be the walrus clapping right now, like this is minimal effort here, guys. I'm definitely still disappointed. Like this whole zombie section was supposed to be more positive, but as we've actually seen what these like changes are that they said they were gonna make, I've just gotten so much more depressed. Like, god damn. And there's so many fans just eating it up. It's sad, it's really sad. But yeah, anyways, red flag number 10. While Liberty Falls is getting a vibe check on its aura, Liberty Falls also happens to be a recycled location from a multiplayer map called Rewind. Wee woo, sorry, Mattsuki here from the future. This was actually some misinformation that was spread around, I guess, about the map, because I tried confirming that these locations were from the same map so I could like show you in the video, right? And yeah, no. Liberty Falls actually just has some Easter eggs around the map, and that is all. There's no recycled assets that people were claiming. I'm not sure how that rumor started, but yeah, we're good. So I have another point for my number 9? No, number 10 red flag. Here you go. Oh, and it's also missing a set crew. And the reasoning for this missing crew was apparently Liberty Falls and Terminus Island are taking place at the exact same time. Again, the non-imaginative, uncreative COD defenders reasoned this as to why we couldn't have a crew. A little history around zombies for you guys, the viewers, is that zombies maps always had crews. Only Black Ops Cold War and beyond stopped adding crews as to promote store bundles at the expense of zombies maps and their narrative storytelling. And there also might not have been a crew back in the early days of like maybe World at War. I don't know, I didn't really play World at War, but I'm pretty sure Black Ops 1 and for sure Black Ops 2 had a set crew for every single map. And yeah, true fans have been asking for a crew back since Cold War, and we're finally getting one, and it's for Terminus, but not for Liberty Balls. I wonder why it's called Liberty Balls. And somehow, some people have the audacity to defend no crew on Liberty Balls. It's crazy to me. Like, these have got to be the biggest fanboys in existence. Treyarch just can't do anything wrong to these guys. They're those in Treyarch we trust weirdos that you see on Twitter every now and then. I'm glad that they're kind of dying out this year though, with BO6 BO6, but these sort of people give off that sort of energy. Like, there's no reason to defend no crew on a zombies map. That's straight up toxic fanboy behavior. No crew is indeed lazy. They can 100% have a crew, and it could be a different crew than the characters on Terminus. Why not have Rick Toffin himself as a crew member once again? He was in the cutscene for Liberty Balls and had the whole community in hype mode, just for there to be no crew members at all. Why? Just stop favoring microtransactions and give us a good quality story. Please, I'm sick of this shop slop. Anyway, red flag number 11. I'm so sorry, but Liberty Balls is getting a beating today. Liberty Blue Balls is what I should be calling it. Why do you exist? This map was apparently too open for being a zombies map and is extremely small. Content creators are coping and are predicting that there's gonna be an underground section that they've just been missing in the early access build that they played early. But this is 110% speculation. They have admitted it themselves. They're just hoping that this was the case because Easter eggs were locked off on the early access build. I hope that this dream actually does become reality because I don't want to have a shipmentification of zombies as well. I don't think a zombies grind map that removes my desire to play the other maps to earn the same mastery camo rewards is a good idea. Blue Ball Liberty Falls, you better prove yourself at launch. Either like delay this map or surprise us, because this right now is just not acceptable. And lastly, red flag number 12. It's been a long list, but this may be the most important red flag of them all in the long run. The content of Black Ops 6 is not all accessible on disc anymore. The Call of Duty hub has took a turn for the worse future in COD gaming. We can no longer play Call of Duty campaigns without a texture streaming internet connection. You can no longer play solo zombies without a constant texture streaming internet connection. This was a retroactive change that they made about a month ago in the Call of Duty hub, and it will continue going forward with Black Ops 6. You will not have access to your contents that you paid for if their texture streaming servers go down or if your internet connection suddenly goes out. You will get comfortable not owning your games. That is Activision and Microsoft's new motto as they're borrowing it from Ubisoft. Hell yeah, gamers. I am so excited that they made this change under the reasoning of, but games are too big now, so texture streaming is the future. Whew. So yeah, texture streaming has been an option for a while now in Call of Duty. Yeah, the keyword is option there. It was something optional, and in the last month they took that option away and started requiring a forced connection on MW2, MW3, and now BO6 no matter what. This is absurd, and I would like to see more backlash to this from the Call of Duty community as a whole. Again, this is probably one of the most important red flags I have. Anywho, that does conclude the video. I kinda wanted this thing out and uploaded before Black Ops 6 launches, so I'm sorry for no VTuber facecam in the outro. If you did enjoy, a like rating would be greatly appreciated, even if you're someone that's still hyped up for Black Ops 6. I do worry for you, but I still hope the game lives up to your expectations. It hasn't lived up to mine, at least after playing the Black Ops 6 beta. But if you'd like to stick around and see how this video ages over time and how my opinion around this game changes throughout the year, like a live service opinion for a live service game, then please subscribe. I got some Halloween games I want to stream this year too. We got Undertale and maybe, just maybe Sonic and Shadow Generations. It's not a definite yes for that one, but I will be back to the Call of Duty streams afterwards as well. We still gotta get Infinite Warfare's Mastery camo, the MW2 Polyatomic Purple Gem camo, and of course Modern Warfare 2's Max Rank skin, so I'm good on entertainment until Black Ops 6 goes on sale. I expect it to go on sale either on Black Friday or Boxing Day again. If not, who knows? I might just get Xbox Live for 1 month on PC, cover some Rainbow Six Siege if Black Ops 6 sucks. Let's just have some fun. Feel free to join my lobby and my MW2 streams, and well, yeah, peace out, homies. Have a good one.